Hello and welcome to Let Them Talk, the channel that goes deeper into everything about the English language. And what I wanted to talk to you about today is when to pronounce and when not to pronounce the H at the beginning of words in English. So, as I'm sure you know, most of the time the H is pronounced. For example, hat, hope, hospital, hand, hotel, hold, house, etc., etc. But there are a few exceptions. Hour, pronounced in the same way as hour, O-U-R, and hourly. Honest, and honesty, and honestly. Honour, honourable, and honourably. Heir, pronounced in the same way as heir, A-I-R. Also heiress and heirloom, okay? By the way, an heirloom is an object that belonged to a family for several generations. For example, this is my grandfather's watch. It's a family heirloom. Now, if you're American, you'll say herb, but I'm British, so I say herb. I pronounce the H. They say, I'd like some herbal tea, and I say herbal tea, okay? Now, the reason why some words start with a silent H all comes down to etymology. That's right, my favourite subject, etymology. All these words with a silent H at the beginning come from French, okay? In French, as in Spanish, the H at the beginning of the word is silent, but not in English, as I keep telling my students, okay? But what about hospital, hero, hotel, horrible, horrific? They're from French, aren't they? But we pronounce the H there. Ah, yes. But when they entered the English language, the H was silent. But over time, this has changed. I'll return to that subject in a minute. But first of all, it's important, of course, to get the pronunciation right. But remember too that the article that precedes the H word will also change, okay? If the H is silent, then the indefinite article will be an. And this is important for written English too, okay? So you have an hour, but a house. An honest man, but a hat. It's an honour to meet you, all right? Now, for the definite article, it will be the before a silent H and the before a voiced H, okay? So the heir to the throne, okay? But the hand is quicker than the eye. The hour is now. The hill is steep. Now, these are general rules, but I should say that you might hear some regional differences. For example, I'm from London, and in the London accent, the H is often dropped at the beginning of words. So if you are listening to a Londoner, or if you're in London, you might hear someone say, I know, an hammer, all right, okay? You should use an hammer. In received pronunciation, it would be a hammer. You should use a hammer, okay? He's the head of the company, okay? And not he's the head of the company, okay? Which would be the standard form. And one final point I mentioned before, our language is still changing. When words enter the language, they're pronounced one way, closer to the source language, but that changes as native speakers use the word. Okay, so look at this diagram for the word hospital. As you can see, it used to be an hospital with a silent H, but by the First World War, it had become almost universally a hospital, okay? Now, look at the word historic. This is interesting because we are in the middle of a change. As you can see, historic and historic are both still being used, but historic is winning the battle. I say historic, by the way. But you'll still read an historic event as well as a historic event. So do be aware of that, especially with written English, okay? Well, that's it. I hope you found that useful, and I hope you enjoyed this historic video, and stay mellow. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.